Selective memory. People seem to have a very short-term memory when it comes to President Joe Biden. People will come up with excuses about his past, but when it comes to ex-President Donald Trump, they will call him a racist. They will call him every name in the book. When Trump had files that were taken out of his place, they called the FBI and called him a criminal. But when it comes to Joe Biden, it's a double standard, and they don't hold him accountable like they will Donald Trump, which is very biased. So, to reiterate it, people appear to have a very short-term memory when it comes to Joe Biden, who has shown himself to be a racist in his 40 years in politics, pushing a narrative for private prison to lock up as many people with dark skin, such as blacks, and yet it is ignored. Even though you're going to make this an unbiased topic, I want people to start realizing how the extreme left has a double standard and very short-term memory, and will look for excuses to justify their action. They believe that their voters are stupid and blind to reality, so they distract them from the truth. It is true that people have different perspectives and opinions about various political figures, including President Joe Biden and Donald Trump. However, it is important to remember that different people have different perspectives and experience which can shape their views. People say that they judge Joe Biden and Donald Trump differently, but it's important to remember that both politicians have been in the public eye for a long time and have been criticized and praised by many different people and groups. Instead of making generalizations or comparisons, it is important to look at each situation and action on its own. Racism accusation should also be taken seriously and judged based on evidence, not on a political tool or weapon. Some people have a very short-term memory when it comes to past actions and words of political figures. They only remember the one that fits their narrative with their current view and ignore the ones that don't. It is important to acknowledge that people may have different perspectives and experience that shapes their views, and that political figures are complex individuals who have a long history of actions and statements. It is important to elevate and think about a political figure's whole background and history, not just the part that fits with one's own current view and agenda. So, all I can say is this: you have to stop following either the extreme right or extreme left, because those two seem to be dominating the real liberals and the real conservatives who believe in the people. If you're a liberal, a conservative, or any other party, please stop following or supporting your party and instead follow your representative who is in line with your beliefs. Look at their history with your community, their reputation, and where they have followed through on their promises or not. Stop being led by hate, deception, or by disliking a person. Why? Because sometimes the person we dislike the most might be the best thing in the world for you and your community. And the person that you like the most might be the worst person that you ever support. Don't be led by your emotions. Be led by what is correct and what is right for your community. Stop focusing on yourself. I am not a lover of both Trump and Biden, but I am a lover of my people and my community first. So please do not be blind and do your research before you vote. Don't vote just because someone else voted for a certain candidate because they said so. Don't let one side or the other use their personal agenda to have power. Power belongs to the people. In conclusion, it is important to look at political figures and issues with an open mind and judge them based on their actions and promises instead of blindly following a political party or agenda. It's important to look beyond the labels of extreme right or extreme left and consider the individuals and their stand on issues that matters to you and your community. Think about the representatives' past, reputation, and track record, and then make a decision based on what you've learned. It is important to not let emotions or personal biases cloud your judgment and focus on what is right for the community. It's important to do your own research and not be swayed by others' opinions. Also remember that power ultimately belongs to the people.